Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the Shim. I'm going to do a college football news video. We done NFL, NBA, and MLB, then followed up with wrestling and NASCAR. Those two videos, so go watch those if you haven't. Get all the news if you haven't seen it. So let's talk about college football now. All the news today so far from the transferring portal. And then I'm just going to chill, be back and watch the basketball games tonight and recap those. So let's get into the news. So, start with Hayes Foz here. So Notre Dame transferred defensive back Creed Thomas has committed to Colorado. He's a defensive back. He'll have 4 years of eligibility. JMU star transfer running back Wayne Knight is committed to UCLA. Sources tell On3 Sports he totaled 1,770 yards and 10 touchdowns this season. He was named an All-American, first team All-Sunbelt, and was a finalist for the Paul Hornung Award. So he's going to UCLA following Bob Chesney. They got themselves a really good running back in Wayne Knight here. Nearly had 1,770 yards, 10 touchdowns in total. A UTSA standout transfer receiver Devin McCune has committed to Ohio State's agent tells On3 through 3 seasons. He's totaled 152 receptions for 1,696 yards and 16 touchdowns. A speedster deep threat. Oh, man. He's got decent size, great speed, and has 13 touchdowns over the past 2 years. And he started 27-32 games in his career, so he's not injury prone. Solid pickup there. Finally, Ohio State does something. They get a good pickup here. And Devin McCune. But Ohio State true freshman offensive lineman Javon McFadden is entering the transfer portal. He'll have 4 years of eligibility left. He was a 4-star recruit in the 2025 class. So at least they got Devin McCune, though. Oklahoma State transfer edge Wendell Gregory is visiting Texas on Thursday. He'll go to Missouri. He's ranked as number 14 player in the portal rankings. Guess we'll get to this from the transfer portal Twitter account. Pitt's standout receiver Kenny Johnson has committed to Texas Tech. Hayes Foster and Pete Nakos report. That oil money's different. That must mean Cam Coleman's going somewhere else. He ain't going to Texas Tech, I guess, since they got Kenny Johnson. Auburn transfer defensive back Kinsley Ludor Faustin has committed to Missouri. He'll have 2 years of eligibility left. Oregon State transfer wide receiver Trent Walker has been committed to Houston. Past 2 seasons, he's totaled 149 receptions for 1,724 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Houston's actually getting some pretty nice pickups through his transfer portal. Excuse me. Alabama true freshman offensive lineman Michael Carroll has re-signed and will return for the 2026 season. Georgia State starting safety Jonell Aguero is entering the transfer portal. He'll have 1 year of eligibility left. Michael Van Buren, LSU transfer quarterback. He's committed to USAF. He's thrown for 2,896 yards and 19 touchdowns in his college career thus far. So I guess Brian Hartline gets his guy, Michael Van Buren. Duke wide receiver Quayshawn Brown is entering the transfer portal. He'll have 2 years eligibility left through 2 seasons, 105 receptions for 1,291 yards. Clemson transfer corner Shelton Lewis is committed to Arkansas. Texas linebacker Elijah Barnes plans to enter the transfer portal. He's a 4-star recruit in the 2025 class. True freshman linebacker will be one of the top linebackers in the portal. Auburn transfer edge Jamana Waller has committed to Arkansas. He'll have 3 years of eligibility left. Oklahoma linebacker Sammy Omosigho is entering the transfer portal. Troy transfer corner Jaquez Wise committed to Virginia Tech. He was the number 7 corner in the On3 portal rankings. USC standout transfer defensive lineman Devin Tompkins is committed to Alabama. He was a top 3 defensive lineman in the portal part of the On3 industry rankings. Northwestern standout transfer edge Anto Saka is committed to Texas A&M. He had 41 tackles, 12.5 sacks in his time with the Wildcats, one of the top edges in the portal. Wake Forest transfer wide receiver Micah Mays has committed to Florida. LSU transfer wide receiver Kylan Ballot has committed to JMU, who have 3 years of eligibility remaining. Vanderbilt safety Radon Van Fontenette is entering the transfer portal. He'll have 1 year of eligibility left. And another LSU got another receiver, Eugene Trey Wilson III has committed to LSU. Over 3 seasons, he's totaled 107 receptions for about 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. He was a 5-star recruit in the 2023 on 300. So Lane Kiffin gets another receiver, man. Already got Jace Brown and now Trey Wilson. They need to get their quarterback, though. Who will that be? Who knows? Maybe it could be Damon Williams. Could it be Sam Levitt? Who knows? Southern Miss transfer safety Corey Myrick is committed to Clemson. Southeastern transfer wide receiver Jalen Domino has committed to Wisconsin. He totaled 52 receptions for 157 yards and 11 touchdowns. Earned all Southland Conference honors. USC transferring back Brian Jackson has committed to Wisconsin. Will have 2 years of eligibility left. It's all from Hayes Fawcett here. So let's go to On 3 Sports. See what else we have here. UTEP quarterback Malachi Nelson plans to enter the transfer portal. Former 5-stars made stops at USC and Boise State. Maybe the biggest 5-star bust in college football history. Just hit the LinkedIn portal at this point. Cam Coleman arrived on Texas Tech for a visit today, but they got Kenny Johnson a few hours later. I mentioned this in NFL news, but Ty Simpson's claiming for the NFL draft. Man, now let's move on to the transfer portal Twitter account. Not too much from On 3 Sports, mostly Hayes Fawcett and the transfer portal account. Alabama transfer offensive tackle Wilkin Formby is committed to Texas A&M. Pete Nakos reports Austin Price supports Auburn starting corner Kayan Lee has committed to Tennessee. Michigan transfer quarterback Davis Warren has committed to Stanford, ESPN reports. As if he's going to do anything there. Baylor safety Carl Williams has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Tennessee transfer safety Bo Carter is currently visiting Vanderbilt. Maybe he wants to play for the best team in the state of Tennessee. Texas tight end Jordan Washington plans to enter the NCAA transfer portal. Auburn linebacker D'Angelo Barber has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Miami transfer corner Charles Brantley has signed with Michigan State. I thought it said Charles Barkley. Charles Brantley. Notre Dame true freshman 4-star receiver Antavius Richardson. He has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Pete Nakos reports. We are talking about Wayne Knight. North Texas transfer safety Patrick Smith-Young is signed with Duke. Pete Nakos reports, and some other stuff from Pete Nakos, and this one from Pete Nakos and Hayes Fawcett. UNLV linebacker Justin Flo plans to enter the transfer portal. Former 5-stars made stops at Oregon and Arizona. Another one from Pete Nakos. Tennessee transferring back Peyton Lewis is committed to Virginia. We already talked about Kenny Johnson going to Texas Tech. Devin McCune, already talked about that. Ohio State defensive lineman Maxwell Roy has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Indiana and Kurt Cincinnati are trending for a top offensive transfer portal prospect. Pete Nakos reports. Georgia corner Andre Evans has entered the NCAA transfer portal. New Hampshire edge Dejon Johnson has signed with Wake Forest. Kinsley Louder-Foster, we talked about him. Missouri transfer receiver Josh Manning has signed with Kansas State. Florida transfer punter Hayden Cray has signed with LSU. Kansas safety Devin Dye has entered the transfer portal. South Carolina transfer offensive lineman Cason Henry is committed to Louisville. Utah tight end Drew Clemens has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Illinois State receiver Dylan Lord plans to enter the transfer portal. He's going to be an FBS player for sure. Got the game-winning, or he had a huge touchdown in that FCS national title game, which they unfortunately lost. Mississippi State defensive lineman Kedrick Bingley Jones has entered the transfer portal. Anthony Sokkin, Notre Dame linebacker, has entered the transfer portal. He's a 4-star recruit. One Big Ten program set to host Georgia transfer running back Rod Robinson later today. North Arizona All-Time Ethan Kramer is committed to ECU. Kentucky receiver Harley Gilmore is in the transfer portal, 34 catches for 466 yards and 2 touchdowns. I thought he re-signed. I don't know. There's no loyalty these days. I swear they re-signed him, but whatever. Good riddance. We're going to talk about Michael Van Buren. Kamari House, North Carolina transfer linebacker, is committed to Arkansas. What is happening? Alabama's expected to host a top transfer portal receiver target this weekend. Oklahoma safety Jaden Hardy has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Colorado All-Time Cooper Lovelace has entered the transfer portal. Clemson transfer corner Shelton Lewis is committed to Arkansas. Auburn transfer edge Jamana Waller is committed to Arkansas. Florida and John Summerall pushing to retain their standout transfer edge Jalen Woods. Florida transfer receiver Aiden Mazzell signed with UCLA. Oklahoma linebacker Sammy, I think we were talking about him. Already talked about him. Courtney Kelly's going from West Georgia to Clemson. Devin Thompson going to Alabama. Memphis transfer safety Kamari Wilson is committed to West Virginia. Michigan transfer linebacker Cole Sullivan is committed to Oklahoma. San Jose State transfer receiver Leland Smith is committed to UCLA. So UCLA's got a lot of commits today. Stanton Ramil's going from Michigan State to Auburn. Texas Tech edge Amir Washington is going to enter the NCAA transfer portal. Tennessee All-SEC running back Deshaun Bishop has signed a new deal to return to Tennessee next season. Paul Bowling's going from Troy to Florida State. Florida transfer Jameer Grimsley signed with Mississippi State. Auburn transfer quarterback Jackson Arnold signed with UNLV. Oh, poor Dan Mullen. Syracuse transfer running back Yassine Wells has signed with Kansas. Florida transfer safety Jordan Castle has committed to Kentucky. So Kentucky starting off the day pretty good, getting Jordan Castle. Maryland defensive tackle Cedric Smith plans to enter the transfer portal. Marshall transfer D lineman Jamal Weiss has signed with Baylor. Kentucky receiver Cameron Miller's entered the NCAA transfer portal. Lyden Cooper's going from Pitt to Vanderbilt. Bodie Cahoon, Notre Dame linebacker, in the transfer portal. Tyree Adams going from LSU to Texas A&M. Kentucky didn't start off the day. Alabama transfer offensive lineman Olas Alinen has signed with Kentucky. So they add another piece to their defensive line. Offensive line. Pitt standout linebacker Shane Biles has lined up another ACC visit. He's coming off a visit with Colorado. Chaz Nimrod, USF transfer, has signed with Auburn. Deshaun Rader, I don't know what you're talking about him last night. I think it's all the news here, I believe. With the transfer portal from Hayes Fawcett and transfer portal Twitter account. So, yeah, that's all I got to say here. So, leave a like, subscribe for more. Check them out. Peace. Samaj Morgan has committed to UCLA. One last chicken nugget here for this one. And Cam Dooley, Kentucky transfer, is going to Florida. So, a few little more chicken nuggets here to end the video. So, yeah, peace.